All right, welcome back. Let's get right back into it with daylight saving ending this weekend. That means we will lose an hour as those clocks spring forward. But what is this all about? Of course, every time this comes around, we get those debaters going as to whether or not this is still even needed. We're going to talk about this more now with Samantha Otto, a local farmer and executive director of the West Michigan Growers Group. Thanks so much for joining us, Samantha.
Thanks for having me, Emily. I'm excited to be here.
Yes, perfect. All right, we can hear each other now. We're seeing each other. So let's jump right into this. Of course, we reached out to your group because the whole reason of daylight saving initially was for farmers, if I understand correctly.
Yeah, so it's really funny because I had originally heard that and thought that too as a farmer. And um, I asked a lot of farmer friends of like all ages and sort of dug deeper into it. And there's a big misconception that it started as a benefit for farmers, but it was actually something that a lot of farmers opposed. It started during the World War I era as a way to conserve energy during that time, as well as a way to sort of boost like the retail and recreation industries by providing sort of more daylight in those evening hours when people might want to get out and be active. But yeah, it's I think they might have grouped farmers into that too. Like, oh, farmers would love that extra hour of daylight. However, yeah, it's sort of funny because we don't necessarily get that extra hour. It's just the sun rises and sets an hour later. So,
Yeah,
we get
we've
that
always
extra
kind of
hour.
had that debate here at the station as well too. You know, should you even be phrasing it that way, losing an hour, gaining an hour? First, let's
Totally.
talk more about your organization, West Michigan Growers. Tell us about what it is you all do.
Yeah, absolutely. So the West Michigan Growers Group is a network of local farmers. We are farmer ran and farmer focused with a goal of connecting, collaborating, and providing educational opportunities for small local farms throughout the West Michigan area. So currently we're serving over 30 farm members. We get together all throughout the farming season for like gatherings where folks can just connect with one another, meet new farmers, or make some farm friends. And then throughout the rest of the year, we offer some opportunities for like collaborative marketing and whatnot. But yeah, our goal is really just to make sure that we're supporting our local farm network and making sure those local farmers feel supported.
Gotcha. So, is there any change this time of the year when it comes to what you all are needing to do? Of course, your job does pertain to being outside for a lot of hours, and you talk about those daylight hours and there being enough or not enough of them. Does anything change for farmers and the work that you all are needing to get done when that switch happens?
Yes and no. So spring is an incredibly busy time for farmers. So especially once we flip that calendar to March and like approach daylight savings time, most farmers have a really busy schedule. As far as like how daylight savings time affects that, it's sort of that thing where it's like you start an hour later than you normally would, and you have an hour later in the evening. A lot of farmers are up before the sun rises anyway. I think a really good example somebody gave me is as a livestock farmer, livestock aren't adjusting their schedule for the clock. They're working around the sun. So, I think as farmers, most of us are working around nature and the sun. So that clock shift doesn't really play a huge impact in our daily lives, um, but yeah.
That makes sense, Samantha. Let's talk more about what it is that you do. I don't often get to talk to a farmer and hear about the day in the life of. So you said in addition to working with the West Michigan Growers Group, you are a local farmer yourself. Talk about the work that you do.
Yeah, absolutely. So I own a small farm up in Whitehall, Michigan. We mainly are focused on um, organic vegetables for CSA Farmers Market, and then we do a bit of farm to school as well. We also have a lovely cut flower field, and then we are currently raising both sheep and Angora rabbits for fiber. So we sort of have that food, flowers, fiber theme going on our farm. And yeah.
Well, that's great to hear. You just talked about spring being a really busy time of year with what it is that you're working with. I heard you talk about organic vegetables as well as sheep and other things. Is this a busy time of year for you? And what's happening right now on your farm?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a super busy time. Currently, we are sort of full steam ahead with getting our seedlings seeded. So we have our greenhouse all fired up and it's starting to become super lively with lots of little seedlings that will soon go out into the field once the snow melts. So it's really magical to sort of, trek through the snow into the greenhouse and open it up into this whole like green magical world. But yeah, it's mainly at this point just sort of prepping for the season, getting seeds seeded, um, doing a little bit of harvesting. We have some season extensions, so we're growing a lot of like spinach and stuff right now to get out to folks in the community. And then, yeah, it just sort of gets busier from here. So waiting for that snow to melt and the warmer days ahead, and we're looking forward to a great season.
Well, Samantha, before I let you go, I have to ask, since we are talking about farming and this being a busy time of the year coming up here shortly, how has this winter impacted the work that you've had to do or that's going to be on the way for you? I mean, we've been talking about how different this winter was just compared to last year, comparing, temperatures this time of year last year. How has that impacted farming for you? Has it been a good season that will help things come this spring?
Yeah, totally. I'm curious how it will truly impact. A lot of the times we can't really see that true impact until spring. In the rough of winter, it's a lot of breaking up waters, putting extra work into making sure that greenhouse is warm. But aside from that extra effort on my end, a lot of times, like these colder temperatures that we've been happening will help in, wiping out any like pest or disease that exists in the field. Um, and some really beneficial factors such as that. So I'm hoping to see a really low pest season and hopefully a little bit of a warmer summer. But yeah, we'll see. I'm hoping that we get some like real spring weather here in the next couple of weeks because it's still pretty chilly over here.
Yeah, I'm with you on that and also hoping for a low pest season. I'm always hoping for that. Samantha,
Absolutely.
thank you so much for joining us this morning. Really appreciate your input.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. It was great to be here.
Take care.